Alright, so this might actually be the endgame. This week, President Trump hosted a dinner with basically every major tech CEO you can think of. Sam Altman, Tim Cook, Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, Satya Nadella, and what went down honestly looked less like a press dinner and more like the birth of a technocracy. You had the most powerful people in technology all in one room, declaring their allegiance and pledging hundreds of billions of dollars for the future. They literally went around the table one by one, saying their numbers out loud. Honestly, it was a little bizarre. Just look at this.
How much money would you be investing?
$600 billion.
$600 billion. All right. It's a lot of jobs.
We're very proud to do it.
That's great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hundreds of billions of dollars, and it's going to be well worth it. Then you have an unlimited market, right?
It seems like it.
Come to think of it, how much is Google investing?
We are well north of $100 billion. In the next 2 years, it's $250 billion in the US.
That's correct. What about Microsoft? That's a big number.
Each year, we're close to, in the United States, around $75 to $80 billion.
Good. Very good. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
So yeah, the tech CEOs are quite literally getting a seat at the table. This administration has made it crystal clear they want the US to lead in AI development, and the companies building AI are more than happy to play along. But the scale of these investments are so outrageously high that we're not just talking about AI anymore. We're talking about the future of the entire economy being shaped in that one room. And what makes this even more strange, Elon Musk, once Trump's right-hand man, was nowhere to be seen. Now, perhaps he had more pressing issues to take care of, like the fact that one of xAI's researchers literally stole their entire codebase and then tried to bring it to OpenAI, or maybe there's other more political factors at play. But either way, the amount of power these AI CEOs are starting to get is definitely concerning, especially considering the impact AI will have on society in the coming years. More on this particular story though, it says here, Elon Musk's artificial intelligence startup xAI has won a court order temporarily blocking a former xAI engineer from working on or even communicating about AI technology with his new employer, ChatGPT maker OpenAI. Apparently, they filed a lawsuit against Lee last month for taking, quote, cutting-edge AI technologies with features superior to those offered by ChatGPT to his new job at OpenAI. And now a judge has ruled in their favor. You might also remember that Elon sued both Apple and OpenAI last month as well for supposed antitrust violations. And he's also still currently suing OpenAI for becoming a for-profit company. So Elon is clearly doing everything he possibly can to give xAI an edge and help them catch up. And I gotta be honest, it does seem to be working, at least slightly. I mean, while the lawsuit against OpenAI becoming a for-profit company didn't exactly stop them, it certainly slowed them down and increased tensions between OpenAI and Microsoft. Case in point, Microsoft just released their first generation of in-house models, MAI Voice 1 and MAI 1 Preview. MAI Voice 1, their speech generation model, is available right now in Copilot. Here's a quick glimpse of what it sounds like.
Sprawling Texas sky, a skeptical cowboy, and an enthusiastic techie met outside a diner.
I reckon this fancy AI voice model ain't all it's cracked up to be. Ain't no machine gonna sound like a real human.
And MAI 1 Preview, their first foundation model, is available to test out on the LM Arena. It's actually sitting in the top 15 right now, so while it's not the best, for their first model, still pretty decent. And meanwhile, Apple is reportedly preparing to partner with Google to put Gemini inside Siri. If this is true, it's more brittle news for OpenAI, because instead of Apple integrating ChatGPT into iPhones, which was the original plan, they might hand that entire market to Google, just like they did with search. On top of that, it was ruled this week that Google could ultimately keep Chrome. There was a chance they'd be forced to sell it off due to monopoly concerns, but with AI search platforms like Perplexity rising, regulators decided to let it slide. This, of course, caused a massive spike in Google's share price. And I just wish I had Nancy Pelosi's financial advisor. But in all seriousness, Google is looking like the clear leader right now in the AI race. Don't forget, they also have their own in-house AI chips, their TPUs, which they might even start selling now. If I had to bet on someone right now, it would definitely be Google. But OpenAI isn't just sitting around either. According to Reuters, they're officially building their own custom AI chips with Broadcom, aiming for a 2026 launch. If this works out, it would give them control over their full stack, models, software, and now hardware, and would make them a lot less reliant upon NVIDIA. So the AI race is certainly heating up, as they say, and we'll continue to follow it closely. Now, in some more OpenAI news, they're not just building models and chips anymore. This week, they announced a brand new OpenAI jobs platform, designed to match workers with employers in the so-called AI economy. It's basically a LinkedIn powered by ChatGPT, but the platform is more than just job listings. It comes with AI certification tracks embedded directly in ChatGPT's study mode, so you can get certified in everything from basic AI use to prompt engineering without ever leaving the app. OpenAI says it wants to certify 10 million Americans by 2030, and they've already teamed up with major players like Walmart, Accenture, BCG, and even governments. So this is definitely an interesting play from OpenAI. But more than that, it shows how quickly they're trying to own every layer of the AI economy. First the models, then the chips, and now the talent pipeline itself. But of course, OpenAI wasn't the only one making big moves this week. Their biggest rival, Anthropic, just raised another massive round of funding, pushing their valuation to an eye-watering $183 billion. That puts them right on OpenAI's heels in terms of both capital and influence. And their CEO, Dario Amodei, didn't hold back either. In fact, he claimed that if AI's current exponential growth continues for just 1 to 3 more years, we could be looking at models that surpass the frontier of human intelligence. Check this out.
I would go back to this dichotomy where we're on this exponential, and if the exponential continues, again, it only has to continue for another 1, 2, or 3 years. Absolutely crazy things happen in terms of the model capabilities. And so again, there's like two minds. There's like, well, common sense, it has to stop, it can't go on, versus what if it actually does?
Yes.
And I think I am someone whose instinct has always been on the side of what if it does? I think it will. I'm not certain of that, but it's where I'd put my bet. And the way I think about it from the perspective of the models is, today I would say the models we have, they're maybe as smart as a smart undergrad. In some areas, they're able to augment what professionals do. We've seen that in medicine. I've seen lots of stories of people, uploading their medical information to AI. They're not yet at the level where they're creative enough to go beyond the frontier of human knowledge. And I think if the exponential continues for only maybe 1 to 3 more years, then we'll start to go beyond the frontier of human knowledge, and then things really go crazy.
So yeah, you can say that he's just hyping up his product, but this 1 to 3 year timeline is popping up more and more in the industry. Again, it truly feels like we're nearing the endgame, the point where humans might no longer be the dominant species. And it's not just Silicon Valley pushing us there. Over in China, DeepSeek is now gearing up to launch its own AI agent by the end of 2025. This agent can supposedly run complex, multi-step tasks with little oversight, learn as it goes, and will be much more cost efficient. So again, this isn't just an arms race between US companies. This is a global sprint at a scale we've literally never seen before in human history. And now, to end on something a little lighter, but still kind of unsettling, Figure Robotics just dropped a demo of their humanoid robot autonomously washing dishes. Finally, the chore that literally no human wants to do is being automated. At first glance, this might not seem that impressive, but the dexterity and speed here is actually incredible. We're witnessing the start of robots quietly sliding into the labor force. First dishes, then warehouses, then factories, then everywhere. So whether it's tech leaders pledging billions at Trump's dinner, OpenAI building their own chips and job platform, DeepSeek racing to launch an agent, or robots washing dishes, it all points to the same thing. The endgame is closer than anyone wants to admit. Human labor as we know it is literally going away, or at least changing significantly. It's time to wake up. Anyways, that's it for this week's AI Recap. Drop a comment and let me know what you think. Are we really nearing the endgame, or is this all just another hype cycle? Either way, I'll be here to cover it. Please make sure to like the video before you go, subscribe if you're new, and as always, I'll be catching you guys in the next one.